Hello out there. Thank you so much for coming back and seeing me. Today we are going to talk about something that I've been weaving into my practice that's really helping me. And it's helping me even though I don't quite understand the mechanism by which it works. I only know that it works. If you have read my books or listened to my meditations or come to events with me, you will know that I'm efficacy based, meaning that I don't weave things into my practice unless they work. And what we're going to be talking about today, like I said, I don't know how it works, but it works. So let me share it with you, and maybe you want to weave it into your practice as well. Okay, so I recently was taught, or recently it was highlighted for me, that in order to let something go, we don't need to know exactly what it is. I had always thought, because I've worked for a long time in mystical realms, I have done a lot of shadow work of different kinds. I had always thought that in order for me to release something, in order for me to let something go, I had to know its name, I had to know its origin, I had to trace back where it came from, what was my responsibility in that, what was somebody else's responsibility in that. I really had to know a thing, name a thing, understand a thing in order to release it. And if you, like me, have tried releasing things in that method, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, because the reason why it doesn't sometimes work is because when we are naming it, explaining it, defending it, defining it, deciding whose responsibility or fault it was, assigning guilt or shame or blame, all of that is increasing the magnetism between us and whatever it is we're about to release. And this other way of releasing things that I'm about to talk about, it requires faith, but you can build that faith as it happens, as it works. But it doesn't require all of that mental sort of gymnastics and figuring everything out. Okay, so here is the practice, and let's start there. Better to do a thing than talk about the thing, right? Okay, so this practice is centering on the exhale as the perfect mechanism for letting things go. And as I mentioned, instead of, as we exhale, be like, I know I'm letting this thing out. I know I'm letting this thing go. I know every part of this whole story around the things that I'm releasing. Instead of that, we're just breathing anyway. Our body is breathing anyway, right? The body breathes. And all we're doing is on the exhale, we are consciously, but without knowing the contents of letting things go. So what I mean is, when the exhale comes around, I like to sort of purse my lips and extend that exhale really softly, really gently. And as I'm exhaling, I'm sort of looking with my eye line in a direction, probably up into the sky, perhaps sometimes down into the earth, out into the ocean, these sort of focal points. And I am consciously, through that exhale, I am consciously, through that long exhale, I'm letting something go. Something that no longer fits me, something perhaps I started carrying for someone else, something perhaps that, used to work for me but doesn't anymore. I'm certainly releasing anything that is sort of like an old coat or an old jacket that I don't need to wear anymore. So I'm sort of like taking that off, and then I'm letting the body inhale again. And as I exhale, letting go. Letting go, letting go, letting go, surrender, surrender, release, release, release. Bon voyage to whatever that is. And the reason that I think that this has been so powerful for me, and when I say powerful, what I mean is I learned this at the beginning of February of 2023. It's now March 6th of 2023. So in 1 month, I have felt old things inside my body, for instance, that like places where my body didn't feel quite right or entirely well, like they feel better. Thoughts that used to be repeating, looping thoughts for me, I just sort of noticed one day, like, oh, that's not there anymore. It's not as strong. It's had its if there's energy underneath everything, the energy from that one has been let go and released. It doesn't have the same magnetism to me that it once had. Other little interesting things is that as I've included this practice, like I'm a lot more awake to the intelligence or the energy of life itself that's all around us. I think because I've also been not trying to, but I think some of the things I've been letting go have been, sort of like petty self-centeredness. And maybe some other things like that. So then I can, like, my blinders are off and I can see what is fantastic and beautiful about this life that we are living, even when it is hard. As it has been, but we don't have to carry all this stuff with us. And imagine my joy at also discovering that we don't need to actively name, explain, define, defend, find all who's responsible for all of this. We can just let things go without even naming them, without even saying what it is I'm letting go. Because a lot of times, because we have multiple sort of characters inside us, we contain multitudes, right? We contain many beings inside of us, or many personalities inside us, or many ways. We have many parts of us, each of us inside of us. And often when we are very concrete about we have to let this go and it increases resistance from maybe the 20% of us that aren't ready to do that. So in this way, when we're just happen to be breathing, and when we just extend and sort of purse our lips on the exhale and just like let that exhale be long and soft and sort of like enjoyable, and we're thinking let go up into the sky, to the ground, to the water, to the fire, whatever. You could also let things go into the sun. When we're doing that, we're letting things go without activating those parts of us that maybe, are contrary to that action. And it's almost like taking the trash out like through like a side door, so you don't call attention to everyone at your party, right? So let's say you're having a party, the trash needs to be taken out. And so instead of like making a big production out of it and be like, who put this can in here and whose plate is this and you just scoop all that trash together, and then you take it out the side door, and no one at the party needs to be bothered with it. They may be activated when they look up to find their trusty old reason why XYZ. It's not there because it's been let go. But in general, so far, I've just found that to be a liberating feeling, and I didn't need those things anyway. So here it is in a nutshell. So easy, such a welcoming practice to try at any point in time. All you're gonna do is you're gonna pick your focal point. I like releasing things up into the sky. And when I'm like, that long exhale is flowing out and I'm looking up into the sky and I'm consciously thinking just like, let go, let go, let go, let go of even needing to know what the name of that is. I can almost see, like as I breathe out, it's carrying this stuck energy out away from me. And then when it gets to the expansive, wide open sky, there's like this wonderful dissolution that happens, meaning like I can see the things like dissolving into particles, and then those particles are now available to come together in new configurations and bring that energy to new expression, not only in my life, but in the life of us all, of all things. And, there is a lot to release right now. There is a lot to let go of. You can see in other videos where I've talked more about that, but in this video, what I really want to encourage you to do is just try this out. Just try it on. All you're doing maybe at the end. I'm doing it at the end of my morning meditation, but you can do it anytime you want. It's just letting the body breathe in naturally, picking a focal point where you're going to send whatever you're letting go, right? I like something big. So the earth, the ocean, the sky, right? These would be focal points I would feel comfortable picking. If you have like a fire pit outside one night, boy, you could do this kind of breathing for a long time. And I think really, really treat yourself to a whole new beingness when you awake the next morning. So you're picking that focal point, and then the exhale is just like, so just that nice, long, soft, nothing to force about it exhale through those pursed lips. And then the inhale happens again. And on your next one, and we're just letting it go without needing to like get really involved, name it, explain it. It's really powerful. It has been very, very powerful for me. And I've only been doing it a month. This is one of those practices, costs nothing. You don't need an app. You don't need a screen. You don't need anything. All you need is the intent to give yourself these little pockets of time where you're really paying attention to that beautiful, gentle, slow, long exhale, and using that to just let it go. Let go, let go, let go some more. And I invite you to try this. I invite you to mention in the comments like what it does for you. When we have a practice like this that logically should not work. Like, how can I let go of things if I don't know what they are? It's really important for us to be in community, to hear from others. Like, yeah, like I felt a shift from doing this simple thing as well. It increases all of our sort of confidence, and that allows us to have faith that even if at the end of, say, one of these little breathing out practices, we're not quite sure what was let go or what, if we can just have faith that the right things are being let go, and tune into the new sense of beingness that we now have access to, we can get so much more out of a simple practice like this if we see others going like, yeah, me too. Like that special exhale like is working for me too. And maybe I'm just a month in, maybe in 6 months, like it'll be even more easy to see all the beneficial changes of this practice. But for now, I'm going to have to invite myself and us and you. Let's just give it a shot. You're breathing anyway. Let's let that exhale carry things that we no longer need out, away from us, for that stuck energy to be broken up, dissolved, and then reformed into things that fit us and this world that we're building better. And just see what happens. See what happens when we release our thinking mind from thinking that it is in charge of all of this. Some things are happening on a heart level, an energetic level, and this practice I'm offering to you because I've really found that on many levels of self, not just the mental, like things are being released, things are opening up, and I do feel better, more renewed, a little lighter, a little bit more like wildly creative, and also a little bit healed every time I do this practice. So, and it's cumulative. I would say it's great if you want to do this once, but really great if you want to make it a part of the practices that you're already doing every day. Okay, that's enough for me. Go exhale, let it go. You don't have to name it. And yeah, get out there. Let some breaths out, exhale, let some things go without naming it, without getting the nice big brain involved, without activating all the parts of the self that are at the party. Like, just take it out the side door. Let go, let go, let go.